Don't you know that he's still working
miracles in my soul? Oh, in my soul. God is not dead.
He's still alive.
He's still alive.
Oh, don't you know that he's still
working miracles in my soul? Oh, in my soul.
the greatest story that I can tell? And I come down and I can tell you that
God's love is a miracle.
my God's power,
God's power is a miracle.
my God, my,
God's power is a miracle.
don't you know that he's still
Still working miracles in my soul. Oh, in my soul. God is not dead.
he's still alive?
He's still alive.
Don't you know that he's still working?
Miracle in my soul. Oh, in my soul.
The greatest story that I can tell. And I come down and I can tell you that
My God's love is a miracle.
my God's power,
God's power is a miracle.
my God, my,
God's might is a miracle.
don't you know that he's
Still working miracles in my soul. Oh, in my soul.
my God,
God's love is a miracle.
my God's power,
God's power is a miracle.
my God, my,
Might is a miracle.
don't you know that he's still
Working miracle in my soul. Oh, in my soul.
he's still working,
Still working.
still working,
Still working.
he's still working,
Still working.
still.
Still working.
There was a woman
Still working.
at an issue of blood,
Still working.
12 long years.
Still working.
She waited for Jesus.
Still working.
She said, if I
Still working.
touch the hem of his garment,
Still working.
I know
Still working.
I'll be all right.
Still working.
I'll be all right.
Still working.
I'll be all right.
Still working.
He picked me up.
Still working.
He turned me around,
Still working.
placing my feet
Still working.
on solid ground.
Still working.
If you don't believe
Still working.
I've been redeemed,
Still working.
follow me down
Still working.
to Jordan Stream.
Still working.
I know
Still working.
I'll be all right
Still working.
if you just let God,
Still working.
let him use you.
Still working.
He picked you up,
Still working.
he turned you around,
Still working.
place your feet
Still working.
on solid ground.
Still working.
I'm still working,
Still working.
I'm still working,
Still working.
still working. Miracle in my soul, oh, in my soul.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen. Amen. Is there anyone here that know he's still working miracles? You need to know his love is a miracle. Y'all act like y'all don't believe that. Because he loves us in spite of us. It's a miracle. And when you can just think about how the Lord loves us and what he does for us, even knowing that we are not worthy. He does it anyhow. It's a miracle. And every day, see, a lot of times we wait for something big and out of the ordinary in order to call it a miracle. But now, how many of us in here right now, when you laid down, do you remember when you fell asleep? Do you know anything that went on around you while you were asleep? But soon this morning, he stopped by your bed and he touched you. And your eyes came open one more time. It's a miracle that how you lay not knowing you were even in the world, but God watched over you. Somebody ought to say all night long. It's a miracle. Don't wait for the big thing. We got to learn how to be thankful and praise God even with the small things. You ought to tell somebody he's still working miracles. Hallelujah. Turn with me, if you would. First Chronicles chapter 16. And we want to look at verse 8 and 34. First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 8 and verse 34. Give thanks unto the Lord. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. 34 says, Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. His mercy endureth forever. Be thankful. That's all we got to tell you today. Be thankful. In this season, we are called upon to be a blessing and to give thanks to God. Bless someone. We have entered into the season of Thanksgiving. Now, I understand, according to history, how Thanksgiving, the holiday, and all of this came about. We know all about the Pilgrims, and we know all about Plymouth Rock, and we understand all of that. But when I think of Thanksgiving, I look at it in a whole different form. Because, see, I feel that every day is a day of thanksgiving. Now, something's wrong. If we can't wait, if we cannot be thankful but once a year, are you trying to tell me that God not blessing you but once a year? Every day is a day of thanksgiving. I told you, and I asked a question that when we laid down last night, we don't know when we went to sleep. All we know is when we woke up. And when God touched us and allowed us to wake up and see a new day, that was a time of thanksgiving. I mean, hopefully you don't start your day without thanking God. But now, when we look in First Chronicles here, and in this 16th chapter, when we look at verses 1 through 6, we're dealing with the offerings given to the Lord, and then we pick up in verses 7 down to 36, where David gives a song of thanksgiving. Then on that day, David delivered first his psalm of thank the Lord into the hand of Asaph and his brethren, Asaph and his brother. Give thanks unto the Lord. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Now, we were not there when he began to pen these words, but we are here today. And I hear him saying, be thankful unto the Lord. Call on him. See, we got to learn how to communicate with God. We got to learn how to really have some fellowship with God. And he said, make known his deeds among the people. Well, when I read that, I thought about the things that he has done for me in my life. I think about some places he brought me from and where he had brought me to, the thing that he has done for me. See, I don't deserve to be here, but I'm thankful that I'm still here. I could have been dead and gone many times, but he says, make known his deeds among the people. In other words, you need to tell somebody about the goodness of the Lord. Well, now, and every one of us have a story to tell. And as we make known his deeds, it doesn't have to be, see, we want to always make stuff look so good. It doesn't always have to be those big and those extraordinary things that happen to make his deed known to the people. You can just simply tell somebody, if it had not been, y'all gonna help me, give me about 5. For the Lord was on my side, I wouldn't be here today. That's making known his good deeds. Yeah, I get up, I go to work every morning, I get a paycheck every week, every other week, or once a month, but it's not because of all that I do, it's because of God that placed me in a position where I can receive the things coming to me. Tell somebody that the Lord is good. Make known his deeds among the people. See, we have to understand something that, when you look back at Israel, you think about the thing that Israel went through, even though a lot of stuff that Israel faced was because of Israel, but nonetheless, the Lord never left them. He always went back and got them. In the midst of bondage and slavery and all of these things, God would give them visions. He would send a word by his messenger telling them that hold on, go ahead where you are. Build houses, get married, have children, go on and live. But after a while, I'm going to bring you out. So, when we look at us today, it does not matter what it is that we faced or what it is that we are going to face. We need to face it knowing that we are not going through it alone. And see, what we fail sometimes is that we always want to thank God for his goodness. We always want to thank him for bringing us and keeping us, and we should. But every once in a while, I find myself, and I wonder am I the only somebody in here today that find themselves doing it. Every once in a while, I find myself telling God, thank you for my hard times. Sometimes I had to tell him, thank you for my downs. I had to tell him, thank you for the rain and the storms that come into my life. Because guess what? It's those dark days, it's those stormy days, it's those rainy days, it's those days that I just couldn't see my way that helped me to realize what God has done. And then when I look back over my life and see where he brought me from, it gives me joy, and I can tell him, can't nobody do me like the Lord. Make known his good deed. You need to tell somebody, God brought me. And I'm thankful. Sing unto him. Sing psalms unto him. Talk. Look at them. Look, there are two words, the last two words in that verse right there. Talk of all his wondrous works. Do you know what his wondrous works are? You are participating right here, right now, of his wondrous works. Because see, I want to tell you, Brother Michael, you may set your alarm clock. Your wife may have shook you, some noise may have went on in your house, but that's not what woke you up. It was his wondrous work. If you don't think it was his wondrous work, drive on up. That's 3 deals out there, Wilcox. And there's a cemetery up there on the left. Drive up there and find every headstone. And set an alarm clock on it. And let it go off and see how many folk get up. And I might as well go ahead and tell you, they start getting up, you ain't gonna stay there. But it's his wondrous work. It's by the power of God. That's who brought us here. And we need to be thankful. Remember his marvelous works that he has done. His wonders and the judgments of his mouth. See, we got so much to be thankful for. And I'm thankful because I realize that he keeps on doing. Let me slow this thing down because I'll shout on you. The Lord is good, and we need to thank him for his goodness. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. His mercy. Do you know what his mercy really is? And it says it endured forever. See, I understand that grace and mercy works together, but mercy is not the same thing. But they work together. I'm so glad for grace and mercy. See, back in the late 80s or early 90s, the late Frank Williams said, your grace and your mercy brought me through. Is there anybody here know that it was his grace and his mercy that brought you through? It was not our goodness. That's why the writer said, make known his good works. Not your. We want to talk about what we did, what we can do, what we were able to do, how we did, how I did. Oh, go fly a kite with that high stuff. When you're doing and working for the Lord, it ain't about you. You got to see yourself as a vessel that God has chosen to use in his program. And you were the, now, Lord, why you telling me say this? And you got to understand something. You were that vessel for that time. I knew what I was going to say, man, that time. Seasons come and seasons go. We got to catch our season when they coming. I never shared it with Faithful, but I shared it Thursday night. And I'm still thankful. But see, Paul talked about he'd abound and he'd abase he'd had and he'd been down. That this is why he could find contentment in whatever situation that he was in, because he knew that God was with him and that God was never going to leave him. And so he's one of those that have had, and he was one of those that have not had or been without. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been that six-figure earner. And guess what? I've been that no-figure earner too. But guess what I looked at? I looked at the fact that when I was in that position, when I was able to live wherever I thought I I wanted to live, buy whatever I thought I wanted to buy, eat wherever and whatever I thought I wanted to drive, could walk up to any dealership and drive out in any car I thought I wanted. I thought that was the life. Able to put my children through private schools and all this kind of stuff, but all one day, I woke up and all of that was gone. Didn't have it anymore. Lost everything. Money, house, car, prestige. But guess what? I'm still here. And I'm thankful. Guess what? My riches may have left me, but my God didn't leave me. So I'm thankful. May not have could have went and bought a Cadillac, but I thank God for the Ford Temple. We got to learn how to find content in whatever situation you're in. And you got to learn when it's good, you got to thank Him. When it's not so good, you got to thank Him. And guess what? I thought I couldn't make it without what I had then. But look at me now. God still got me. He's good, I tell you. And I wouldn't take nothing from a journey now. I'm thankful to God. Check on blue. I'm thankful to God for all He's done for me. I'm thankful for where He brought me from. I'm thankful for what I have today. Don't have everything I want, but I sure got what I need. Don't have what I like to have, but I thank God I got what He wants me to have. Is there anybody here got a thankful heart today? Thank God for your ups. Thank God for your downs. Thank Him right now. You ought to thank Him because He's been good to you. You ought to thank Him because He brought you. You ought to thank Him because He kept you. Is there anybody here got a thankful heart today? I thank God for Jesus. Thank Jesus for dying. Thank God for getting Him up early, Sunday morning. Ain't He all right? Have you tried Him? Is you thankful today? If you know He's been good to you, tell Him thank you.
Thankful. After hearing the word of God from the man of God, there may be somebody here this morning that wants to give their life back to the Lord. For the Lord has brought us. He has taught us. He said that He would never leave you nor forsake you.